But come out plain, like, sir, ma, I'm not ready to keep my options open. This is my plan for my life. So I believe that everybody has a plan for their life. So I would say you should first of all be in sync with yourself so that you know when you're not feeling right. And the best option for everybody is to approach a healthcare professional. I need you to let me know, should I entertain other people asking me out, or should I just concentrate on you? If you're not saying anything, I would just, if I collect the next are you available card and go for the next date, because I now want to keep my options open.
There's
a lot of people haven't known themselves really. I got to understand myself when I was in year one. I think that was when I had to consciously understand my person, because most of us just seem to follow the crowd.
Yeah.
This is what's happening, but you don't really understand who you are and how you function.
Hello and welcome again to another beautiful episode of VitalSpace Podcast. If you've been following us, you know that all we try to do with this podcast is try to, I will not say fix society, but to make our experiences together a lot better by making our relationships better. But that is hinged on we becoming better and quality humans, because it's that quality we possess that we bring into every relationship that we find ourselves to. We want to talk today about the impact of illness on relationships. How does illnesses, because it's not possible that we'll go through life strong or true. So we want to talk about illnesses, but much more how it impacts on our relationship. And I have a very wonderful guest here with me, and we had to drag this guest out. So we'll leave it at that. The people that like to hide behind the camera, we just drag them to the front. We know that after this one, they'll run back to the camera. So we like to still maintain their anonymity to a large extent and just be grateful that they are here with us. You're welcome very much, ma.
Thank you very much.
you like that anonymity part.
So it's not like to be completely anonymous, but just be comfortable in your space where you don't have someone, what it comes with celebrities and how people are always crowding around them. So even when I see celebrities, I was like, please just let them be. Let them just be. They are celebrities, yes, but let them be. I know not everybody has that, how will I put it now? The attitude of letting celebrities be. They will just want to take a picture and all that. So I prefer that my quiet space where I'm just observing what's going on.
And beyond observing, just also making things happen.
Yes, and then doing what needs to be done.
Be done. So you're welcome very much.
Thank you very much.
We see the great work you do. We feel the impact of what you do, and we celebrate you. Thank you again for coming to do this with us. We know that it's really a sacrifice on your part. So let's run into it. It's not possible that people will go through their life without falling ill.
Yeah.
It's not possible. It's I would say illness is a necessary part of life. The thing is, how do we approach, let's start on how do we approach illnesses, first of all, as individuals? When we fall ill, how should we approach, before we even talk of our relationship, when we fall ill, how should we
approach relationship with yourself when you're ill? So personally, I'll be speaking a lot on personal basis. So personally, I think I'm in sync with my body. So when you get to a point when this is not normal for you, and I think you should be able to differentiate based on how much you have understood yourself. If this is due to stress, due to the fact that I'm not sleeping properly, due to the fact that I didn't eat well this week, or I may actually be ill based on certain things. For instance, you know that you've been sleeping in a mosquito infested room for a while, and say 2 weeks down the line, you're feeling ill. You should know that, oh, this is a consequence of sleeping in a mosquito infested room for the past 2 weeks, and then probably approach the hospital, get a test done, and then before you now start treatment. So I would say you should first of all be in sync with yourself so that you know when you're not feeling right. And the best option for everybody, which is not what happens in Nigeria, is to approach a healthcare professional. So it must not be that you go to a tertiary hospital like the FMCs or the teaching hospitals. No, you may just visit a private facility or a public small primary healthcare center that's close to you, and then they run the basic test, probably a malaria test, and then take your temperature, your vital signs really. And sometimes just by taking the vital signs, it may pick up certain conditions that can be preventable. So we should first of all have a baseline. By baseline, I mean know when you're normal.
Yeah.
And you can only know when you're normal if you have the attitude of going for annual checks on your health. So you may not so they say Nigeria is happening to everybody right now, so you may not have the money to go and do an elaborate test like the lipid profile and the cholesterol and all that. So you may just do general blood work that is cheap. Know that you're not anemic, that you have enough blood in your system. For instance, you don't have malaria, you don't have typhoid, and then you now know, oh, this is my normal blood pressure. There's some people that have never taken their blood pressure before until they find themselves in the hospital for one reason or the other. So you should know what your normal blood pressure is, just for the sake of knowing it. So in case it rises, you know that, oh, it has gone up or it has come down, and then you now start looking for a solution.
Oh, I think that's even healthcare 101 that. but you said something vital. So it starts with knowledge, as basic as it is. Yeah, like you said, getting in sync to just know yourself.
Yeah.
Know yourself. And I think that beyond even with the health thing, I think in a lot of phrase, people just get to know themselves. There's
a lot of people haven't known themselves really. I got to understand myself when I was in year one. I think I repeated year one. By the time I was repeating year one, that was when I had to consciously understand my person. Because most of us just seem to follow the crowd.
Yeah.
This is what's happening, but you don't really understand who you are and how you function. So there are some, for instance, all of us will know, we have those friends that never have pens, they never have pencils, but once they get to the examination hall, a pen or a pencil will come out from somewhere. But if I try it, I will not see anybody that will give me a pen or a pencil. So you see me with a purse that has 10 pens and 10 pencils with probably 5 erasers. Not because I just like to carry it, but because I have gone through that phase where I was looking for a pen, I couldn't have it. So I have, in case one fails, there's another one and there's a backup and there's another backup. So some people know, I don't know, I just call it the grace that they carry. They have this grace of doing emergency things. I don't have the grace to do emergency. I have the grace to plan and implement. So if emergency is your grace, know yourself and function in the grace that you have. If planning is your grace, please know yourself and plan. And don't let the person that has emergency as his own portfolio now influence you to now begin to live an emergency kind of life. Because that way you will not be fulfilled, I think.
Whoa. See, we're still just trying. I see how beautiful it is for everyone to just get to it. So it's beyond even just health. It's beyond all facets of life, getting to know yourself. Because I think that's why a lot of persons even struggle. Because a lot of persons have not come to understand who they are, how they function in certain places. So even how they approach work, how they approach relationships, how they approach choosing a particular career path, how they really, so it's, everybody's doing it.
And you just go ahead and do it.
It seems that it's acceptable in the environment
It's
I
the
find
norm.
out. It's the norm in the
Yes,
environment I
so
find
you
myself.
just do it.
Yeah. And I think that's why he plays out also to health. So everybody, I know that most times when we have the even when it gets to a health crisis, there's a pandemic and people and everybody says, "Oh, this is what we're all doing."
Yeah. And you don't even want to understand why they're all doing what they're doing and try to get to the nitty gritty. So, for instance, when the COVID came and people had to take immunizations, in as much as they had made the immunization like a compulsory thing, if you understood where the immunization was coming from, a lot of the challenges that we had during the immunization period won't have come up. But a lot of people tend to listen to this other person and listen to this person and listen to this person. And at the end of the day, the advice that you've gotten can fill a book.
Yeah, the
but
misinformation.
None of them is actually right.
Yeah.
And there are myths there. There are a lot of misinformation, really. And at the end of the day, you tend to lose out from what should have been a beneficial process. So, like I said, just first of all, understand yourself, know how you work, and then try to get the basics of whatever is going on. Different health issues have been coming up on air. They talk about monkeypox. They talk about so recently there was 10 million screening and that's went on. I think it was across the nation for non-communicable diseases like diabetes and hypertension and all that. So in every facility they were screening people to just know your numbers. I think that's what they tagged it. So know your numbers and then know what is your norm before you now know what is the abnormal, so that you know when to now start looking for a solution or taking action.
Okay, so and this is getting to how we get our information is also vital. And so this is like, we're talking about health, but like we said, what we've just talked about, we see that it cuts across life. We need to verify every information we get. We need to verify. We need to ensure that the information we want to run our lives with, our careers, our faith, our whatever, is from trusted source. There are so many voices, and in these days of social media,
anybody can just come in and put anything on
things
online
are just
and
flying.
then
People are so a lot of things, and people don't have time to fact check. People don't have time to, but it comes from a place of knowledge.
Yeah.
Somebody was saying something that for you to tell the fake,
you should know the original.
You should know the original.
Yeah.
And a lot of us don't have so much information about the original.
Yeah, I think that stems from our poor reading culture that we have as a nation. So we don't tend to want to seek for information. We want people to just give us information and then we run with it based on what this big man or big auntie said. We just run with that information and we don't really want to ask questions. Okay, if you say this, why this? If you say this, why this? So in our field of work, they'll call it critical thinking. So you're trying to break apart everything that you said to really get the basic understanding. And that way, if everybody can do that to an extent, we would have a lot of challenges being solved even before you get to issues of major misconceptions causing major health issues and all that.
The thing with asking questions, is it not rooted in culture? Because I think also, like you talked of, because this big auntie or this big uncle or this supposed authority figure has said a particular thing, the person could be right or the person is assumed to be right. I think that it's part of also the culture where we do not question certain
The
persons.
elders.
Yeah, we do not question.
So, in as much as we should not question the elders, We also know that our children started from this inquisitive phase where they ask why.
Yeah.
And then when you start giving them the whys, the reason for whatever why they are asking for, until you get to the point where the why no longer has an answer, you can now keep quiet. But when you now start giving them the whys, I don't think it's rude. I think personally, it's for me, it seems like you want to gain this knowledge. And it's also in this culture that they say, who asks question, no, they miss road. So if you don't ask, you will get to Bini when you're supposed to be going to Aba. Because you're not asking, okay, where does this route go? Where am I? So in as much as asking questions may be stemmed rude, the way you ask your questions is also something you should consider in a rudeness or in having to give respect. But I don't think there's any elder that will say something and then you ask that, but please, why did this happen like this or this happen like this? For me, I feel that the elders are more predisposed to talk. They always want people around them so that they can share the knowledge that they have. So I don't think it's going to be a problem if you're asking questions for knowledge purposes. So if you can't ask big uncle, there should be somebody on your level that you can ask, or a professional in that field that you can ask and would give you a detailed explanation so that you know what is the right thing about whatever situation you're in.
Awesome. So now, so I'll take it closer. So when we're talking about asking, so it brings it home. At what point should people now that are considering or having romantic feelings for each other and considering a relationship, at what point should they start asking about health?
Okay,
status?
so I feel you don't do that on the first date.
Okay.
First date is let's know ourselves and then know the kind of person you are. And it takes a while to know somebody. Some people can be so closed up that even 2 years is not enough to know them. But there are certain questions you ask that are like leading questions that are not closed-ended, that will give you a yes or a no, but make this person come out and say something. So sometimes in my relationship with people, I found out that when you ask those questions, that's when they now start thinking. You will literally see the gears in the head start turning. It's like, I've never asked myself this question before. And then they now start thinking, like, oh, so are you trying? So at the point it now becomes, are you trying to say this or this? I say, no, I'm just asking. Why this part? So when I notice that you are really not giving, I say, okay, so go and think about it. We'll continue discussion another day. So it gives you something to think about. So that's a critical reasoning thing I'm talking about. So you have to understand where this person is going to. If you're going to be in a romantic relationship, means that relationship is supposed to have an end, which is probably marriage. Except you're just in it for being in it. And like the generation we are in now, everybody just wants to catch cruise. You just want to catch fun, and then everybody will answer their father's name at the end of the day. But if you know that you're in this for the long run, then by the time so probably you've known yourself for 2 months, you can now start asking the questions. You're free enough to eat with this person. So the person already knows your likes and dislikes. And then once you know that, oh, your feelings are tilting towards this part where you're becoming more emotionally involved, then it's a better position to try and fill out what this other person is thinking. Are you people on the same page in the first place? Is this person in it for the long run too, or the person is just in it to catch fun? If the person is in it to catch fun and you are in it for the long run, you can put an end to it there and then, so that you don't become entangled or not able to disconnect at the end of the day, where you've invested so much and it's like you're not being treated well in the relationship. But if you know that these two of you are moving towards the same target, I think by the time you've dated yourselves for like 3 months, you should start talking about where your relationship is leading to, because for me it's a time waster if I don't know where we are leading. So are we just supposed to be moving like this and just be going
We'll
and
find
then
it. We'll find it somehow.
How we find it? So if you are a one man kind of person or one woman kind of person, I need you to let me know. Should I entertain other people asking me out, or should I just concentrate on you? If you're not saying anything, I would collect the next are you available card and go for the next date, because I now want to keep my options open. But if you're not still saying anything, 3 months, nobody knows which direction you're going to. Now, I think that's where promiscuity and the rest starts coming in, because you're not saying anything. Maybe this other, you're looking at Mr. A. Mr. A is looking at Sister C. But there's one brother Z that is looking at you and wants to be sure that you're taking it the long run.
What if the fact that everybody's keeping their options open?
How can you just be keeping options open and be wasting somebody's time now? This life is one. And you know that we all have a limited time to live on earth. We are not living on earth forever. So make your impact and then do what you need to do. So if this person just wants to leave his option open, come out plain like, sir, ma, I'm not ready to keep my options open. This is my plan for my life. So I believe that everybody has a plan for their life. So as long as at the point where you choose which course to do, if it's social sciences, if it's sciences, or if it's arts in secondary school, I think it's at that point you should start planning your life.
That's because maybe not many persons are even that clear. Even with the tertiary institution, not many persons are that clear. Even in planning
so
their life,
why are you going to tertiary education?
A lot of persons even graduate and come out,
and they are not sure of where
because it has seemed that a lot of persons now is, let's just go. You know this thing we thought at the beginning.
We are all going to school. Let's all go to school.
It's a normal thing. It's expected
once you
that
finish, you just go to university. Then after
university,
university, you just get
job. You marry.
But if you are not sure of what you are going to read in university, how will you get the job?
You know they say nothing now. Everything.
Entrepreneurship.
Everything that it doesn't matter what you read in school, because you can come out and not even find job in that
so
area.
So it matters what you read, because it's you. And this is what you're supposed to be doing for the rest of your life. So it should be something that you love to do. Something that will make you want to leave your house in the morning. And I'm sure that's why we see this lax attitude when it comes to work. A lot of people don't want to do what they are doing because they are not being fulfilled in it. For instance, in medicine, you know that there are different aspects of medicine. There are people that are going to medicine for investment. There are people that are going to medicine just to concentrate on equipment, for instance. People go into medicine and then they say, okay, I want to go to the part of radiology. I want to do cardiology. So for someone like me, I just feel that I don't know if it's a Nigerian factor, but clinical medicine doesn't work for me in Nigeria. I don't enjoy clinical medicine in Nigeria. I would rather do what I'm doing now, which is in the public health space, where it's more like a preventive or a research kind of thing. Okay, this is what we have noticed on the field. Okay, why is it happening like this? What can we do to stop it? How can we increase the cases we are looking for on the field and ensure that we bring these people to care and all that? I feel more fulfilled doing that than sitting down in a facility and I can't treat you to the end, which is what's happening in Nigeria health sector now. So you see, from our training, tertiary health is supposed to be the last bus stop. So you see that in tertiary, they're still referring you to. So how? So in as much as you want to do you're going to school to read a course and then you come out to get a job, whatever, anything you read doesn't matter. You can work anywhere. At a point in your life, it will matter. Because we all know that there was a time where the banking sector was taking anybody and everybody. Yeah. But now, the banking sector is taking the people that are in accounting, are in finance,
and in related
fields.
Yeah.
So then they didn't have those people. Now the awareness is there. People have started going to school to like when we were in school, there were very few bioscience that were doctors that were reading medicine. So they were looking at us like, oh, you're the crop of the state and all that. But now when we had NDU, you see that there are a lot of medical doctors in the states right now. And they are doing so well. So if it's just because of, it's a raining thing, at a point, you will not even see anything to do. And you will not even be fulfilled in what you're going into. So it's best to really understand yourself and understand your purpose and know why you want to do what you want to do. So if I didn't get to understand that clinical medicine is not for me, I would have probably been in. And then anytime I say patient, I'm angry. And I'm pouring out my frustration on you because this is not where I want to be. And that's what we see most of the time happening in offices, where you just come, you want to submit a file and this man is angry. And as if you people quarreled some while ago, but he doesn't want to be there. That is not what he wants to be doing with his life. So if we can tackle this from the beginning, like I said, from when you're choosing your career path in secondary school, then everybody would now. And I think I should also say here that for parents, we should guide. We shouldn't impose these things on children. We should guide them on the path that they should take. Don't insist that it must be law. It must be this. It must be that. So you can ask. Oh, so if you're choosing to go in the arts direction, why do you think you want to do law? And then they will ask you, why do you want to? So you now begin to explain. Also, okay, so I will introduce you to a lawyer. Talk to the lawyer and see if it's something you want to do. And then he talks to me like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't like the fact that they do this. I don't like the fact that they do that. You find something else that this person will be comfortable in and then grow into and learn to love.
Do parents have that time right now?
We have to create the time. That's the truth. We have to create that. In as much as we are pursuing money and pursuing a lot of things, we have to create that time. Even if it's 1 hour in a day. When you come back and you're tired and you want to rest, you can tell them, okay, let me rest for today. Come back in 30 minutes and then ask me whatever you want to ask. And then they ask you in 30 minutes and we have 30 minutes. So after 30 minutes, oh, good. And that 30 minutes, give them your full attention. So they know that they matter too. Because if you're not giving them the answers, you'll get these answers from other places that are not the right sources.
So we got here from the question I asked when how early it's too early in getting to know about the health status of a prospective partner. So we have said that
within 3 months.
Within 3 months,
but
you know how it seems that the dating pool is saturated. People not having the opportunities as they want, and this person had been hanging around. I'm not seeing, and now finally sees this one that looks like the thing. But you know that if you tell of a existing health condition, the person may leave. Is that not enough reason why people don't disclose?
I think it's best, personally, to disclose. Because you first need to love yourself. And if you love yourself and you have a path you're following, the partner comes in along the path. So what we see nowadays is people looking out for partners without knowing the direction they even want to go in the first place. Smaller issues and see how the person will handle it when it comes, before you now bring out the bigger picture and like, oh, this is what happened when I went for so and so thing and this and this and this, and then leave the person room to react. A lot of us will want to react for the person.
So did we
if the person wants
the reaction?
Yeah, you don't determine the person's reaction. If the person wants to blow the roof, let him blow the roof. That is his way of handling the information that has been given. If he wants to think about it before it will reach leaving the house, because there are some people that take decisions in the heat of anger that they now later regret. So just try and pipe low, but let the person vent. Don't try and control how the person is going to handle it, because if you really want to control it, it may just be there simmering and brewing. And when it will erupt, it's going to erupt with much more than what you said. It will come out as, where is this coming from kind of thing. You don't know that it's something that has been breeding and incubating over time. So when you inform this person about this condition, let the person handle it the way the person wants to handle it. Give the person space. And then come back and like, okay, what's the way forward with this matter? Because there's always a solution with health challenges. Especially, for instance, if you use the HIV issue. There's always a solution. You can still meet with your spouse. As long as the person takes the medication and the viral load is low, you can still meet as husband and wife without having to use any form of protection or anything. And the other person will not be infected. And your life goes on. But if you're hiding it and the person is insisting on, oh, why must I use protection and all that? It now becomes like you're not faithful enough, and then different challenges starts coming up. So it's best to take the bull by the horn, address the matter, let the person vent, and then come back and then sit as a family and then discuss on the way forward as regards the disease condition.
Also, there's something you pointed out that most times when, like for spousal relationships, when the information comes, also after the diagnosis, this particular spouse goes to the partner and says this is one, that most times it's not even the information that is the cause of maybe even the reaction. Most time it might be an underlying issue. This just caps it up and the person just blows off the lid. That's important, and that's why people should be able to deal, because most times in dealing with an issue, I think that most times why issues even prolong, because we don't even know what we are dealing with. Are we really dealing with what we just said now, or is there something
else that's going on that you're not saying?
Yeah, they are not saying. And most times I think that's even what makes the thing difficult to handle. So the thing, like you said, open, say it. And I like that other part where, and I think it is key and worth repeating, that there's always a solution to every health condition. There's always a solution. And for me, that's the part I want us to take in, if that this other partner receiving the news, that is something that both of them need to know, that this is not death sentence. Whatever you've heard, whatever information you've just been given is not health. It's not a dead sentence. You people can find your way.
You can find your way around it. So even if it has to do with terminal illnesses, for instance, it's even the best time to come out, because you need that emotional support. It's best to open up, because if this person is not supporting you emotionally, the deterioration is faster. But when there's that emotional support and there's the care and everything, it even helps you want to get better on time. So with the medication and all that, you're trying to build up, and then you get better. But if there's that disconnect where you're keeping it to yourself, this person does not know what you're passing through. So he lives his life normally, and probably they told you don't eat fish, for instance, and your spouse is a fish lover. He does not understand why you will not just cook fish in his house.
And all of a sudden,
you don't just want to eat. So what is going on that you don't want to eat fish? It's not like, it's something going on that I'm not aware of. And then we always like to think of the worst. We're not, is it that you're not thinking of another man, or you're thinking of another woman? Why will you not cook the fish that I like to eat? And I'm giving you the money to cook the fish. And then the matter has now started becoming something else. But if you just open up and say, oh, this person, he knows that if he has to eat fish, probably his sister comes and cooks the fish for him and he eats the fish, and you are away from fish. He knows that this is the reason why you cannot eat fish, for your health. I don't think there's any spouse that wants the other spouse to just fall down and die. No matter how bad the relationship is, I don't think there's anybody that's like, oh, okay, our relationship is so bad. Just die now, let's just bury you. I don't think there's anybody that is that bad. I don't think so, Sha.
So let's leave it at that. We don't think so. Now, so let's backtrack. So we've talked spouse and what those impacts could be, but we live in, and we've talked the fact where there's dating, getting to know, but we live in a times and a society where certain persons are just loose.
Yeah.
And just don't care.
Yes.
And get involved in things that they should not even
try to do.
My mind is now, how do how do we help this one? Because it's this whole health thing. Because you see, a girl, you're just dating a guy, you just met him, and the next thing, you people are all over yourselves. You're getting involved in sexual relations. You're getting without knowing anything about the person, especially when it has to do with health. What are the implications?
So the implications are so much. For somebody that lives like that, there's an underlying reason most of the time. And that's where the psychologists come into play. So something would have happened in their childhood that makes them just want to live with reckless abandon. Probably they've been abused along the line, and they feel that this is the best option for me. This is the best way I should live my life and all that. But because of my work, I think I've come to realize that a lot of people that live like that were actually abused. There was some form of abuse, especially sexual abuse, while they were growing up. So either from a relative or somebody, they probably have been introduced to sex too early. So they now just have that craving or urge to just go about and live loosely, as it were. Apart from finding Christ, it's very difficult for these persons to change, because it's something that they are used to. It's something that is now a way of life for them. And going through psychological counseling and trying to find the cause, and then trying to walk them out of it with psychotherapy, which a lot of people don't do. A lot of people feel like going to see a psychologist means that you're mad.
Yeah.
Which is not. I have this passion for mental health, but I don't want to practice it. But I just tend to look at everybody with the eye of mental health, and then know that this person's reaction is coming from somewhere. You don't just wake up and just be like this. Something happened somewhere along the line. So it's to get probably have mentors for these persons, to mentor them in a particular way. And most of these people have people that they are looking up to, or they look at as their role models, and they are trying to be like. And if you can find these persons and let these persons be the ones to instill this set of morals, also, it will go a very long way. I know for me, then when I was still in clinical field, you see young ladies that are still in secondary school that are probably coming for antenatal. And then, okay, so what's the plan after? I actually take out time to ask them, what's the plan after you give birth? And they say, well, I don't know. The child will stay with the boy's mother or something. I was like, then what next? What about you? What happens to you? And then you just realize that they didn't even think of what's be their next line of action. It's like family has given up on them, or society has given up on them. And I think I always use one of these actors, popular actors then, like, she had a child, but you know her. You knew her after she had a child, because she didn't allow that to stop her. And she continued. She didn't continue to fall in and give birth. So let's assume this is a mistake. So after this mistake, what's the way forward? What do you want to be in life? How do you want to go about tackling it? Do you know that it means that when you see men, you no longer have to sleep with men without protection if you must? Do you know that this is what it entails for you to take this path that you want to take? So the onus lies on us eventually to do the little we can do. Because when you see somebody like that, they're usually around us. Yes, they may not listen to you. But I also believe that I have done my part by saying what I should say, so that posterity judges me tomorrow. That, yes, I said it, I told you, but you didn't listen. And then you too, in your time of grief or sober reflection, you say, yes, this person actually said it. This person meant well for me. And this person told me this or told me that. So let's not just let it be because, oh, this child is rude. They will just take it. Do your part and let them be rude to you. But know that, oh, no problem. I have done what I should do as the elder in the picture. And I've given my little quota on trying to raise you up morally. Because what I tell young ladies is, if imagine that you want to live a loose life and eventually you meet this guy, very fine guy, that you cannot but want to live with for the rest of your life. And you now found out that you've slept with his father, his cousin, his uncle. Will you be comfortable in the house? Won't you just pack your kaya and just go? Because you know that if you enter that family, they will not respect you. They will not, in short, they will not even want you to enter the family in the first place because they just feel that, even if you have changed, they'll just feel that, oh, this is the kind of person that you are. So it's best for you to maintain that abstinence is the best for the younger ones. It's best to abstain. But if you can't abstain, just try and be moral about the way you live your life. Don't live your life with careless abandon. You see them smoking here, you want to try it. You see them drinking here, you want to try it. You see them doing drugs there, you want to try it. You just want to try everything. Because most of the time you see that they are looking for something. They actually want to get something. Probably fulfillment, probably a sense of love or belonging or something. They just want to get something. So that's why I said it stems from somewhere. And then if you can address these challenges for them in our own little way, then they would see reason and probably do better.
Okay, the thing with the health issue, for me, it's okay with that beyond even pregnancy. So you do without the sexually transmitted infection
and the rest.
So because that, I think that's why most persons don't even know their history. So you not have this thing and it just keeps going, and before you know, maybe you, like you said, you change. But
and
you don't know now you have picked
it's worse for the
something.
women because you're like a receptacle that receives, and you're having, say there's sexually transmitted infection, and then your tubes are blocked. You don't know. It doesn't give you any sign because you're not at this point. You're not trying to get pregnant. Tubes get blocked. Challenges with your uterus and all that. And then when it's now time for you to want to settle down, you now see that, oh, I can't have, and it's like, oh, you had an infection some years ago from the way you were living your life and all that. But for the men, if they have the infections, because the way their sex organ is also where they pass urine from. So they easily go for checkup and then sort out the problem. Unlike the ladies that may probably just have low abdominal pain. And they may just say, oh, maybe it's my period, and then just let it be. But it's something that is already getting worse and causing a lot of challenges.
So we now see how over time it now even plays out in family life, plays out in, and it just now causes a lot. So in the family, a lot of friction. Because you now want to have children, you can't have
between the spouses, between in-laws, and the rest. And affecting society at
large because the quarrels now go on and on. We now have more separations, more divorce, more, and before you know, the whole attack on marriage, the whole attack on the family life, so it just spirals into things that we just from not just being responsible
to yourself. It starts from yourself. It starts from you. So if we need to tackle it individually, we need to first of all know yourself, know who you are, where you're going to, what part have you planned for yourself to walk through. Unfortunately, this generation, you call young ones, ask what's your plan for yourself, and they're looking at you like.
Okay, so I know it's been there's so much would take if we continue it because there's so much to take, but we've seen it's an all hands on deck thing. An all hands on deck thing. There's no sector that says no, I don't need this or that. But I even like the Bible will say that the hand will not just wake up and say I don't need the leg. The leg will say we don't need the head. It's an all house and all hands on deck thing for us to have the kind of society we want. Everybody, every sector comes in, and with the health practitioners giving the information we need people talking to our young ones or talking to our families, to visit the hospitals, to just so much that each and every one of us needs to contribute to. But like so many takes on this, but the one beautiful thing is that talk, reveal, don't hide.
No, don't hide it. Say as soon as you can.
Yeah, the other parts of knowing yourself. I know that's where we started from. Knowing yourself is a vital. Is the beginning. Is the middle. Is still the end, because every other decision
is around you.
Is around you. Thank you so much for. Thank you for
having me.
Thank you so much. We probably some other time. We'll hope that when we call again, we'll have you.
No problem.
Thank you. And that has been our time here. I hope you got something, but the thing that no matter the health status, first of all, you need to even know yourself to even know the health status. Visit a health center to really know yourself. Get the basic information you need to do. Make your life decisions on proper information. Make life decisions on proper, whether health, whether career, whether relationships, even your faith. Make your life decisions on proper information, and that's where we build from and we make a better society. Until we come here again next time, this has been the VitalSpace Podcast. See you.